my dear students. Welcome back after your Bayram holidays. And today we are going to have Fast Food Nation Chapter 5, the Part 2, because we only had the Part 1 last time, you remember? Now, let's see what we are doing. In the previous chapter, I don't know if you remember, Don, the manager of the company, decided to talk with Rudy, a ranger, someone who has a ranch. It's not a ranger, I'm sorry, it's a rancher. It's a rancher. He has a ranch like cowboys. Then, in the previous chapter, at the meat factory UMP, Mike threatens the workers. And at the end of the chapter, Mike and Coco kissed in Mike's car. What is going to happen now? Let me show you and let's listen it from the audio CD. I am starting for you.
He stopped in a lonely place. Then he kissed her.
This is from previous.
Don lay on the bed in his hotel room. He was talking to his wife on the phone. "I think I'll be home on Saturday," he told her. "I'm going out to a ranch and then I'm seeing Harry for lunch. Say hi to the boys." Two women came in to clean the room. They stopped in the doorway when they saw Don lying on the bed. One of the girls was Sylvia. Don just waved his hand and the girls backed out of the room. Sylvia was worried. Was the man angry? Had they done something wrong? She had decided to work in the hotel and not the packing factory. The money was worse, but the job was better. "Don't worry," said Vicky. She had worked at the hotel for a long time. "It's good you came to work here," Vicky continued while they tidied another room. "UMP is a bad place. I worked there for a few weeks. There's blood everywhere, and it's dangerous. You can lose a finger or a hand in those machines." Sylvia's eyes opened wide. "Tell your husband to leave," Vicky said. Don was nervous about his meeting with Rudy, the rancher. What would Rudy tell him about the factory? He waited by the gate to the ranch and looked around. There was grass as far as he could see. He saw an old car coming towards him. It stopped and a man got out. Rudy wasn't young, Don realized, but strong and active. He lived a healthy, outdoor life. "Are you the one who wants to talk about UMP? Get in." Rudy's intelligent blue eyes looked straight at Don. Don climbed over the gate with difficulty. He didn't do much exercise. They drove for a long time. "Is this all your land?" asked Don, amazed. "Yeah," said Rudy. "But look at this." He stopped the car. At the edge of the grasslands were hundreds of new houses. "Those are my new neighbors. Life's changing, Don. Ranchers are losing their lands. Everyone wants it for building." They got back in the car and Rudy drove them up to his old ranch house. "I'm not a real rancher anymore," he told Don. "The old way of life is disappearing. I don't know about you, but I don't like this new one." Don and Rudy sat together in Rudy's ranch house. It was comfortable. A big fire warmed the room. Don finally asked the big question. "What do you know about UMP?" Rudy looked at him and thought for a moment. "A lot," he said. "Those guys are mean. They care about money and nothing else. They destroyed my grandfather's business. He used to sell cows to them. They'll do anything to get cheaper meat. Anything." Don still couldn't believe it. "But do you think they really sell us dirty meat?" Rudy sat back in his chair and laughed. "Of course they do. All the time. Those guys, they don't care when workers' hands and arms are cut off by the machines. They're not going to worry about manure in the meat. But I saw the factory. It was clean. Don didn't want to hear this. Did you see the killing floor? Don shook his head. I don't think so. Did you see the bloody carcasses and walk across floors covered in blood? Don was shocked. No. Then they showed you nothing. But how? Don started to ask. Rita, Rudy called out. A smiling Mexican woman came into the room. She looked after the house for Rudy. Rita, said Rudy, tell Don about UMP. My brother works at UMP, said Rita. He tells me things. The big problem is the conveyor belt. It moves so fast. The workers can't clean the carcasses well. They don't have enough time. Sometimes they pull the stomach out and they make a mistake. Then manure goes all over the meat. Don's mouth felt dry. But how often does this happen? Every day, said Rita. You see, Don, Rudy explained. It's like I said. This is a new life. The machine's the boss now. We're all just part of the machine. When it's finished with you, it moves on and uses someone else. And another thing, Rudy added. You're a nice guy, but your burgers are awful. And that's not only because they've got manure in them.
So, what we learned here? We learned that Don is in a hotel room, he's sending the cleaning ladies away, the maids, and one of them is Sylvia. Her helper is telling them that the UMP is terrible. It's full of blood and people can lose a finger or a hand. Then Don meets with Rudy. Rudy is an old rancher. His land has been sold for buildings. Then they go to Rudy's home and they have a talk about it. He asks about the UMP and Rudy says he knows a lot of things about it. He knows that they destroyed the business because they were selling cows to them and they would do anything to get cheaper meat. Don can't believe, but Rudy explains that there are cut ends and fingers in the meat. There is manure and the killing floor is terrible. He calls out for his mate Rita, which had worked in UMP for a few months, and she says, my brother works at UMP and the big problem is the conveyor belt, the one where carcasses are passing. Do you understand which one? They are trying to clean it, but it's too fast. Sometimes they pull the stomach out and the manure goes everywhere. And this is happening every day. So Rudy says, Don, I'm sorry. Your burgers are awful. And this is not only for the manure. Now, what do you think we can find in Mickey's burgers? That would be disgusting, guys. So let's see about this and let's meet next week with a new chapter. Hopefully we will do 2 chapters together. Have a nice day.